Hello and welcome to Mental Health and Me. In this one, I wanted to talk about prejudice, mainly obviously racism, as it's at the forefront of media at the moment. Firstly, I want to say is if you had a child and looked exactly like you, and you was discriminated against purely based on your looks, how would that make you feel? So even say if you're gay and you have faced discrimination at times because you're a gay, and you have a child, and you know before that child is even born that child is going to be gay, just like black parents know that their child is going to be black. You know that's going to happen. You know that you faced discrimination growing up. You faced discrimination in your life. How would you feel? Would you stand up for it? Would you make a stand? I'm sure you would. And that's what Black Lives Matters is. Now, I don't agree with the political side to the Black Lives Matters. I really don't. I can't. But I stand by the message. I I see it myself every day, racism. People that I know and I care about who make casual racist remarks, don't even realise they're saying them. Sees a young black lad get out of a nice car, must be a drug dealer. It's casual racism. People that push racist jokes, promote racist jokes, we've all done it growing up. But then turn around and say, oh, I can't say that nowadays, everyone's snowflakes. The problem being is that you probably should never have said that in the first place. It's not just today, it was wrong when it was first said back in the 70s or the 80s. It's not just become wrong now, it was always wrong. Now, I'm here, I'm a white man, I am an atheist, so I'm not religious, so I'm pretty perfect really to some people. I'm joking, obviously. But as a white male, non-religious, I tick all the boxes. I mean, if I was the top of the chain, then the worst there must be a female Muslim lesbian. That would be, they would tick all the other boxes for the discriminatory boxes. That female Muslim woman might be a scientist, but it doesn't matter because she would tick all these boxes, so she'd be judged based on that. That's how ridiculous judging people is, by things like race, like gender, like religion. It's it is pathetic. People get a lot of their facts to counter racism from Facebook, because that's the best place to get information from. I come from a place called Chelmsley Wood. Going back 10 years ago now, there was a story on there saying that they're going to build a mosque. Now, I'd say white people make up the 98% majority. Then it would be black people and probably a very few Asian people that live there. 10 years later, there's no mosque. But obviously that story caused absolute uproar. Oh, I can't do this, you can't do that, blah, blah, blah. It was never going to happen, it was just a rumour. I did that myself. In 2016, I put an England flag up. And I jokingly said at the time, I put my England flag up, I had 10 Muslims knock on my door. And I said that because there was that running thing going around, people putting up England flags saying, "Oh, can't take this down from me." Nobody wanted to take it down. So I put that message up jokingly saying 10 Muslim people wanted to take my flag down. It got retweeted. I had messages sending me support and things like that. It was a lie. I'd made it up. It never happened. It just shows you how easy it is. Now, you might want to believe that racism doesn't exist. White privilege doesn't exist. Now, white privilege is something that I didn't understand, and I was quite offended when I first heard it. Nobody opens doors for me. Nobody lays down red carpets. Nobody chauffeurs me because I'm white. And then I spoke to a friend of mine who's black, and I mentioned about where I was travelling to, some of the places I've been and what have you. And it was like, well, I couldn't go there. I wouldn't fancy it there. And it made me think, I've never once thought I wouldn't feel safe because of the colour of my skin in certain places. I've never had to give it a thought. Now, it's the same for people under different religions. Females may feel more vulnerable in other places. People from the LGBT groups would feel more vulnerable. And that shouldn't be the case. We should feel safe wherever we go. There shouldn't be a worry about wherever we go. Some people might not feel comfortable, and that shouldn't be the case. I'm not here to push an agenda. This is the second video I wrote, because the first video, I filmed, I sort of ranted because it is something that I feel strongly about, because it's something that I know exists. I was bullied growing up, probably 7 to 8 years of my school life, which out of 10 years is quite a lot. So if you looked at discrimination as a form of bullying, I only experienced it just in my school life. A lot of people would experience that throughout the whole of their life, and that's not fair. I've got family members who are dual heritage, who are lesbians, who are gay. I don't love them any less. Why should other people love them any less or think of them as less? Because at the end of the day, they're all people, so I don't get that. And I do find it hard that this video will go out and I'm going to get probably a fair bit of criticism for this video. And then they will tell me, a lot of them will be white people telling me that racism doesn't exist. Now, clearly the irony is lost on you. I've got family members that are like, oh, Black Lives Matter, pushing this, pushing, what about this, what about the whataboutery is off the charts for it, off the charts. It's basically a way of saying, yeah, well, I was once, nudged in the shoulder by a black man, bloody black men, racists, calling me racist, idiots. And it's like, what are you on about? You've got an agenda, you don't want to see it any other way. You're ignorant, and you are ignorant, and I'll say that and I'll stand by it. Football has taken the name being booed. Now, they're taking a name not to stand for a political message. They're standing for an actual message that Black Lives Matter. They are not saying Black Lives Matter more. They aren't. And if you think that, then you are using that as a way, as a whataboutery, as a tool to beat them with, to prove your ignorance, because they are not pushing an agenda to defund the police. they're not they're trying to unite together and show that we are all as one. You know, I had a friend say to me that once, going back on about footballers, name me one good black manager. And I said, well, name me more than 10. Now, he wanted to judge black managers based on the colour of their skin. But they're not being given a fair crack of the whip to prove themselves. But it's still, you know, some have failed, so let's beat them with that. And it's the what about it? What about so and so? You know, there's 92 football teams and one gives so and so a shot and they get relegated. Yeah, but look, I'm useless. Black managers are useless. That's what happens, you know. So yeah, I grew up with quite a closed, ignorant mind because of, you know, how I grew up and where I grew up. Grew up in a mainly white area, white family, white friends, you know. So then when my mum became ill, and her life was pretty much saved by people from every race and religion around the world. You look and you think, well, how wrong am I to ever judge people based on the colour of their skin? People who judge and are racist, the people that I know who are racist and call people like myself maybe snowflakes, when they're unwell, they will go and see these non-white people for help, and they won't say anything. They won't say, oh yeah, I'm better than you, by the way, can you perform brain surgery on me? They won't do that. Of course they won't. Now, it's hard. There's so much I could say, you know, about it, but I'm gonna leave it there. If instead of judging people based on their race, their religion, their gender, their sexuality, and we just judge people on whether they're a twat or not, things would be so much better. So please take into consideration some of the things I've said. Have a little think. Before you judge somebody, have a little think. And take care and look after yourselves.